Welcome to day 2 of 1 week to erase worry. And today is called What If It Does? One of my favorite quotes that I read from somewhere, and I don't have the reference for it, but I know I've posted it before, and it's talking about someone worrying about what if it doesn't work out? And the universe responds, but what if it does? And I always hold on to that thought of it's your choice to make. It's one or the other. What if it doesn't work out? But what if it does work out? And then what if it's so incredible and it's something you couldn't even have imagined would be so great and beyond your wildest dreams? And that's just a shift in mindset. So on day 1, when we're talking about worry is just a habit, all the other stuff that follows is also just a choice and shift in how you think and what you tell yourself on a daily basis. So today is just a little bit of a story about a conversation that I recently had with a beautiful human talking about something that is going to happen about 6 months in the future. And it was something where there's worry about money involved, which is something that I know it can be a very tough subject for a lot of people. But we were talking about the different scenarios, and she was really narrowing in on all of the things that might not work and all of the reasons why the scenario might not work out the way that she wants it to, and it might not work out in her favor, and talking about it as if she didn't have influence over it. And I thought it was really interesting that every outcome that she was thinking about was more on like the fearful, negative side of thinking. And so it was more of the thinking along the lines of what if it doesn't work? And the shift in mindset came. It was so beautiful to see the light bulb go off in her head and her literally pause and completely shift even her body language and everything. Because I asked this question: what if you just focus on it working out the way that you want it to? That's it. So I'm asking you this question. Whatever it is that you're worrying about, and you're worrying about it not working out in your favor, just have fun with this for a minute and tell me, what if you just focused on it working out the way you want it to? What if you just played with your imagination and thought about all of the hundreds of thousands of ways it could work out beautifully in your favor, the way that you want it to, and get really specific about it and think about all of the good things that could happen and how something can work out in the way that you wish, the way that you imagine, the way that you feel like would be the greatest thing on earth for you. And try spending more time playing with that thought process and that way of thinking, because this again is just shifting a habit. We have a habitual way of thinking about things. Worrying is habitual. And so the way that you position something to think about it, it can be on one side or the other. And it's simply a choice that you can make in the moment to become a bit more playful with what you think the outcomes will be. And when I'm talking about in day 1, I talked about the energy that you use for worry. You are expending a tremendous amount of energy worrying about an outcome in a fearful state. So imagine just flipping that around into the trusting, positive aspect where there's fear and there's trust. And if you were to just trust and believe that everything is going to work out for you and everything is going to work out the way that you would love it to, the way that would make you feel so good and so lit up and so supported and uplifted, play around with that. Use your energy towards that, because that energy, putting your energy into something like that, that's more fun to imagine, more playful, it's going to automatically lighten up the way that you feel and lighten your energy. And then good things can come to you much more easily. And the way that I also positioned it in this conversation with this particular lovely human was that what we do know is that this decision is going to be made in approximately 6 months. So you can spend the next 6 months worrying about something that might never occur in a negative way, in a fearful way, worrying about something happening the way you don't want it to. Or you could spend the next 6 months dreaming, daydreaming, imagining, focusing on this thing turning out in a beautiful way, the way that you want it to, the way that would be best for everybody, the way that would work out the easiest, simplest, most flowing way. And it's just more, it's lighter, it's fun, and it's playful. And no matter what, you're going to be spending the next 6 months doing the same thing, waiting. So it's really just a choice. It's a matter of choosing how you want to spend that time, because the outcome is, the outcome's going to be the outcome. It is what it is. It's going to be what it is. So spending all of that time in one state, in a positive, uplifted, believing, expecting, knowing that good things will happen, versus spending all of that time worrying about something that you don't have control over and fearing the worst or whatever it may be. It's really just a matter of coming down to that choice and choosing to follow the lighter path and the things that will uplift you, and imagine it working out, and imagine all of the scenarios playing out, that everyone is happy and everything works out and everything's at peace. And I know this might sound a bit far-stretched or a bit too much of a positive spin, but I really would encourage you to start shifting your thinking to but what if it does? So you can say, what if it doesn't work out? But what if it does work out? And what if it works out exactly the way you want it to? And part of that requires you imagining a scenario where things are working out in your favor, and things are working out the way you want them to, and things are working out so it's amicable for everybody. And that is what brings you a more positive energy, which brings you a more positive outlook, which then attracts more positive things into your life. It's just the way that you can flow through life. And I highly recommend playing around with that in smaller scenarios or larger scenarios. But if you're not a believer at first, then playing around with it in smaller scenarios and catching yourself in those moments where you're starting to go down a rabbit hole of imagining something not working, try flipping the switch to, what if it is going to work? What if it does? How much fun will that be? How happy will I be? How great will it be? How easy will it be? And that is your choice. So I leave that with you today. What if you just focus on it working out the way that you want it to, and then leave it at that? This is day 2 of 1 week to erase worry. I'm looking forward to day 3 and all that's to come in the days ahead. I'm Laura Varga, lifedesigncoaching.ca.